recently had a call from a woman in New Jersey who's planning on moving to Atlanta, and her first question was, is there anything to buy? I keep hearing that the inventory is very, very low in Atlanta. Well, the good news is there's still plenty of houses being sold in Atlanta every single month. The bad news is inventory is kind of tight, and I'm going to describe the reasons why that's happening. And if you wait till the end of this video, I'm going to tell you why I think you can still find a great house in Atlanta. Inventory is tight in Atlanta for three basic reasons. The first reason is people are moving out of the big cities and they're moving down south to the Sun Belt states. This actually started well before COVID. The migration patterns were people were leaving the big cities. They needed more space. They needed more freedom. They wanted to lower their cost of living. So they were moving out of the big cities of the north and they're moving down to the south. You can see this chart from Wikipedia showing the domestic migration patterns. This is 2018 to 2019. The Sun Belt states are all gaining population, and the high cost of living states like New York and New Jersey and California are losing big numbers of people. Add to that, millennials have delayed purchasing homes, and many of them are entering the home buying market for the first time. So with the migration patterns, the entrance of millennials into the home buying market, all of those things have really worked to make demand sky high in Atlanta. Reason number two, the pandemic took the existing migration trend out of the big cities and really stepped on the gas. That may have been fine, but at the same time demand was skyrocketing, supply was also falling. Let me tell you why. Imagine this, if you're a homeowner and you're considering selling, you might think, wow, there's all this excess demand. It's a great time to sell. I can get top dollar for my house. But the reality is you have to have some other place to go. If you sell your house now and you want to move to North Georgia and retire in the mountains, that's fine because there's unlimited amounts of land in North Georgia. If you sell your house and your goal was to move down to Florida, maybe a retirement community in Orlando, demand down there is sky high. It's even worse than Atlanta. So if you sell your house, you got to have some place to go. And in a pandemic environment, it might actually make sense to stay put for a while. So oddly enough, some of the excess buyer demand in Florida may be leading to the reduced supply of houses available in Atlanta. Another aspect of this is just basic human nature. In times that are unsettled, people want to hold on to what they have. They want to have a little bit more stability, so they're delaying the big changes like selling their house and moving somewhere else. Fortunately, life goes on. Certain unavoidable life changes. You get a new job, you get relocated to a new city, you have to sell your house. Some people living in a small house, they have children, they need to move to a bigger house. Some people are downsizing because their children are all off at college. Some people go into a retirement home. So life goes on. It's just been kind of set off kilter by the pandemic. Hey, if you like what we're doing here, please like, comment, and subscribe, preferably all three. Thanks. The third reason for tight inventory in Atlanta is the historically low interest rates. Interest rates have been very, very low for the last year and a half, 2 years now. And for a certain period of time last year, they were just insanely low, like 2.5%, something that nobody's ever seen that. That's brought a lot of people into the home buying market that normally would not be buying a home. And so it's created a lot of excess demand. Fortunately, the rates ticked up about 0.5 point a few weeks ago, and I think that's going to just cool things off a bit, take some marginal home buyers out of the market, and kind of reduce the demand. The good news is that home prices in Atlanta were only up about 10% in the year 2020. That sounds like a lot, but the national average was closer to 15%. So Atlanta took a bump, but it's not as big as many of the other places in the country. The cost of living in Atlanta is also lower than many other big cities. So if you're moving here from out of state, you'll probably be pleasantly surprised how much house you can afford. One of the reasons I think you'll still be able to find a great house in Atlanta is that Atlanta is very large. It's very spread out. There are no geographic boundaries that constrain the size of Atlanta. It's not a tiny island where only a few houses can be built. There are literally hundreds of thousands of houses in Atlanta. The highest demand areas are inside the perimeter, so a lot of the communities outside the perimeter, such as Tucker, Lawrenceville, and Lilburn, are much more affordable. So I'll say this, there's a good home for you in Atlanta. If you're interested in moving here, there again are hundreds of thousands of houses here. There are communities all over the city where you can find affordable houses. And it's really about finding a home that fits your lifestyle and your budget. So despite all the craziness over the last year, I think you can still find an affordable house in Atlanta. I hope this has been helpful. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Parker Smith. I'm a realtor in Atlanta. If you're thinking about making the move here, give me a call.